happy full moon in Gemini. So whenever we have a full moon, of course, the sun is in the opposite sign of Sagittarius. And this week it is on Sunday, and this is the third Sunday in Advent. The first Sunday we start our celebration of the week of really paying attention to the evolution of the human being through the mineral kingdom, through the stones and the bones, the gems and the seashells. And then the second week of Advent, there is a particular attention to moving from the physicalness, from the physical, to the etheric, the pranamaya kosha, this body of life. You know, we have this amazing capacity to recognize life. And then in the third week, we come to the animal kingdom. And this lifts up for us the themes all around what animals have that plants don't have. So we know, animals will answer to names, dogs and cats, of course, but even cows. I don't know how the fishes recognize their names or not, but a lot of different animals, you can kind of see these different snippets of personality, but we can really tell that they know pleasure and pain. They know, how to hunt. They know how to connect to their innate cycles. There's some animals that are so smart that they can figure out different puzzles. If I'm talking about crows or dolphins, like super, like intelligent, but they don't quite have what we humans do. But they have what we have in common with animals is really this place that is described by the astral body. Now, our astral body, the etheric body is much more, it's so close to the physical. Even when we're asleep, our etheric body stays close to our body. But when we sleep, the part of us that is our astral body, that contains our dreams, our desires, our thoughts, it actually travels away from our body and enters the spiritual world. And this is where we dream. And sometimes our dreams, we can kind of connect them to themes of the day, even if it brings up feelings that weren't necessarily connected to them. But in that, we can kind of notice that there's some part of our humanity that is able to transverse between being awake here on earth and experiencing the physical world, but then even in our sleep, going and without our own direction, our conscious direction, being able to transverse in the spiritual world, in the invisible world, in a way that we know animals do. How is it that the salmon know to swim upstream the wrong way, to go back to the place where their four mothers and stuff laid eggs and fathers? And how do like the animals know, like, there's so many magical things about animals. Like, they know what another animal has learned. So you can see this in like raccoons or crows, where they actually will solve problems quicker if one of their ancestors or another crow has solved it before them. So there is this kind of connection to the invisible world that animals have quite naturally that we still are striving to understand. And this is pointing to this astral body. We can think of it very practically of our body of ideas, of our dreams, our desires. And it's the third body. So we have the physical, the etheric, and the astral. And it's the one before our higher ego, our I. And in this week, maybe you can lift up these places in your life and in your understanding of what it is to be human. And it's so beautiful that this full moon is happening in Gemini, because Gemini celebrates the left brain. Sagittarius, where the sun is much more about intuition. So in the Sagittarian archetype, there's this connection where it's not quite clear why we know the things we do, is in Sagittarius. But in Gemini, you bring it down into the left brain. You have the lists. You have this ability to connect to so many diverse minds. So how can we use our left brain to really start to understand and study these invisible forces that actually are the things that connect us not only to the starry heights, but connect us to strangers, connect us to animals, connect us to the whole earth. So happy moon in Gemini. Mwah.